Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Elise Reads and Speaks. Today I am bringing you my December wrap-up. Why? Because it's January 10th, and apparently that's how late I roll. Who cares? Alright, so to kick off the month, I went through the Vampire Academy. I read books 4, 5, and 6, and they were fabulous. Books 4 and 5 I gave 4 stars. Book 6 I gave 5 stars because as a whole, I really enjoyed my time at Vampire Academy. And the next book that I went on to was a major letdown because I went from a 5-star to a 1-star, which was The Lost Coast by Amy Rose Capetta. I talked about this one in my 1-star to 5-star video. I'll link that below if you haven't seen it. But man, that book, it was awful. It was atrocious. I had a horrible time. I thought it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This was the one with like the lesbians and the witches and the sex magic. Yes, you heard that right, sex magic. Oh my god, why? Why? After that, I went on to Song for a Whale by Lynn Kelly. That was another 5-star read of mine, and I absolutely adore that book. I keep talking about this one, so I'm going to shut up about it now. I'll leave my link to the video below that I did a review / speech language education about how to enjoy Song for a Whale fully. It's a middle grade read. It's wonderful. I love it. I love it. Please read middle grade, and please read that book. The next book I went on to is a book that is beloved in the booktube community, and that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Why? Like, I'm not saying that I hate it. I didn't. I gave it like 3.5 stars, somewhere in between there, because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time and held my attention the entire time, and I thought it was cute. I also think Hallmark movies are really cute, and they have the same kind of theme, you know, where somebody falls in love with a prince and it's happily ever after. I love those. I put those on all the time, okay? Especially in the month of December when they're Christmas themed. They're wonderful. So that's exactly what reading Red, White, and Royal Blue was to me. I guess I just don't get the hype. If you're this hyped about Red, White, and Royal Blue, that's just like a gay relationship between the president's son and the king and queen's son, I mean, like, watch Hallmark, okay? Because you could get that like every day of the year. It's wonderful. But it's also like 3 to 3.5 stars. I don't understand the hype for 5 stars. It was all right. Next, I went on to a middle grade read. That was Winterling by Sarah Prinius, and I gave it 2 stars. It really wasn't memorable. I was kind of bummed about that one because it seemed like it was up my alley. It had like a little bit of fairy in it. These little fairies were called pups, you know, like a throwback to A Midsummer Night's Dream. But it wasn't memorable, and the way that the story progressed, I thought it was very choppy. Like, I was hoping that I was finding like a diamond in the rough middle grade that was gonna deal with the fairy realm, and I didn't get that, so I only gave that one 2 stars. After Winterling, I went on to the Giver graphic novel. That was also my 1-star, 5-star video, which I'll leave the link down to below. And I gave that one 5 stars. Pictures were absolutely beautiful. After reading that one, I decided to go on to the second one in the Giver Quartet. I don't want to call it a sequel because Gathering Blue, that's the name of the second book, it doesn't have any of the same characters as The Giver, so if you're not familiar with Gathering Blue, I don't want you to see this picture right here and be like, yay, there's a sequel to The Giver. It's not like that. It's like in a different society that's a bit more primitive, but it still deals with some themes that I think kids can really understand from reading that book. It's a very short read, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I think that was the 3rd time that I read it? Yeah, the 3rd time. So I believe the 1st and 2nd times I was thinking 4 stars, and then this time when I was reading it, for most of the way, I was like, okay, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is more of a 3-star read. By the time that I got to the end, I was like, no, you know what? This is 4 stars. Like, I felt myself paying attention to the lessons, really feeling for that girl, Kira, and I wanted to know what happened next in her story. And for me to feel that way, like, that's a 4-star read for me. Again, it is not a sequel to The Giver. It does not take place in the same community as The Giver. So Jonas, who was like the main character in The Giver, there's a little allusion to him at the end, but they don't even say his name, okay? You just have to know based on the color of his eyes or his striking eyes or however they said it, in this community that's more welcoming than the community that Kira is currently in. That's the only little tidbit that you get. He's mentioned more in the 3rd book and even in the 4th book, but I have read those in January, so they are not included in this wrap-up. Next, I went on to Bloodlines, which is an offshoot of Vampire Academy. The main character in that book is a character that I loved in Vampire Academy, so I'm glad that they're focusing more on his story and this other girl's story that I thought was super cool. So I gave that one 4 stars. I'm expecting to like do the same as Vampire Academy. I'll probably do 4 stars like all the way through because I'm really enjoying the storylines, and hopefully the last one will be the same, that I give it another 5 stars just because I thoroughly enjoyed my time. After Bloodlines, I went on to Supernova by Marissa Meyer, and I was pleasantly surprised with that book. So when I first read Renegades, I actually requested that book for book club. Like, that was my pick, and I was so stoked because I loved the Lunar Chronicles, and then I read Renegades, and I was like, it's not that I didn't like it, it's just, I mean, that was not Lunar Chronicles. Like, that was not to the tier that Lunar Chronicles sits upon in my mind, okay? Like, it was just, it's a superhero story. I thought a lot of stuff was like X-Men ripoff, kind of. Like the helmet with Ace's helmet. Really? Like, you couldn't choose anything other than a helmet? I don't understand. All right, but I progressed on with the series, okay? I proceeded on because I was like, I really love Marissa Meyer. And I felt like her books in the Lunar Chronicles only got better and better and better, and maybe that would happen with Renegades. And I was right. Like, I liked each book slightly more than the last. I believe I gave Renegades 3 stars, Arch Enemies 3.5, and Supernova 4 stars. Like, I felt like it really left an impact on me with some of the lessons that were ingrained there, and plus that epilogue. Like, Marissa Meyer, you better be planning to do something with that epilogue. Like, come on, I need a little more than that. I think it's the last book in the series. That was what I expected. I believe it's a trilogy, but like, if you read this book and you read the epilogue, like, don't you think that we need a little more? I think I need a little more. Okay, but I was pleasantly surprised by that one. So if you found that you weren't really enjoying Renegades and Arch Enemies, like, just finish the series, go on to Supernova, because I really enjoyed that one the most. After Supernova, I went on to a book that was also my 1-star, 5-star video, and that was The Dead Queens Club by Hannah Capin. I'm not gonna go major into it since I already talked about it in a previous video, but I gave that one 5 stars, heavily enjoyed it. The last book that I read for the month of December was not a great one. It was Tidal by Amanda Hocking. That is the 3rd book in the Watersong Quartet, is that what you call them? How about series? We'll stick with series. Watersong series, all right. So the first 2 books I gave 3 stars. This one I gave 2 stars because I felt like there was, and this isn't ruining anything, I felt like there was a lot of pushing to have sex. Like, this one girl was kind of forcing this guy and giving him an ultimatum to have sex. This other girl felt pressured too. Like, I don't know, I felt like it made me feel icky, okay? That's the best way that I can describe it. I was reading this book and I felt icky. I didn't feel icky enough to give it 1 star because, I mean, I read it all the way through. It held my attention. I could tell you what happened. There was some siren stuff in it that I liked. I mean, the only reason that I've continued on with the series is because I like the siren stuff. It's funny. I don't like mermaids, but I like sirens. I don't understand. I feel like that says something about my personality, doesn't it? Okay, but this book, like, where did you go? Where did you go? This was clearly written before the Me Too era. Like, oof. I think I'll go on to the last one just to like finish it out, see what happens, because I got that far, but I mean, it's gonna be a 2 or 3 star. I mean, there's like no way that last book is gonna be a 4 or 5 star read. And I know that I'm going into it and the best that I can get out of that one is 3 stars, but it's okay. I just wanna see how the series ends. All right, that was all the books that I read in December. That was 13 books. I'm pretty proud of myself, okay? My reading has increased. I regret to inform you that my team for the Reindeer Readathon did not win. Oh, I'm very competitive, so I took that very hard. However, in our little group chat, I felt like I made some friends there. Like, I really enjoy watching UTV. I enjoy watching Scott at Book Invasion. Like, I feel like I at least made some friends in my Nutcracker group. Oh, and our team leader, Donna Sendoku. I love her. I love watching her videos. So I feel like, okay, even though we didn't win the readathon, we won in terms of friendship, right? Like, that's what they tell elementary school students, right? Okay, that's what I'm gonna tell myself. All right, thank you for tuning in to Elise Reads and Speaks. I will catch you next time, guys. Bye.